Mountain bikers stuck in jump jail, this video gets you out. Now, if you are a rider who goes out to the trails and you have to walk around features like jumps, drops, anything where you go airborne, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to fix it now because everything you're told to do is based on body position, practice, and standing up to the jump, okay? None of these things are bad, but none of them solve the problem if you've been stuck for more than a few weeks. Now, with body position, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to make a change around, and I'm going to show you why practice is maybe the slowest way to get where you need to go in certain cases, and why standing up to the jump will only help you so much. And the reason why is because all three of these are based in one free ride fallacy. Now, for those of you that don't know me and why you should listen to me, my name's Dave Davidson. They call me the Guardian of Nirvana, and I'm here to share with you my spiritual download I have received by climbing the mountain all the way to the top and speaking with the fathers of free ride themselves. And I've brought this concept down to you because what these three things are missing, the body position, practice, standing up to the jump, all of them are missing one thing, and that is your instincts. That is horrible penmanship. That's how you know that I'm a real person, because I can't write. None of these help you ride with your instincts. I'm gonna show you how. Now, instead of body position, the first thing you need to do to send big jumps, go airborne, feel that feeling of weightlessness, the first thing you need to do is get away from body position completely, okay? Body position is for beginners, and a lot of clinics and coaches like to teach this stuff because it's so incredibly easy to teach, but it isn't necessarily what you need to send the big stuff, all right? Again, it's not a bad thing. What it does is it focuses on moving the body around the bike. So let's break this down. When someone tells you, get back, get low, find the balance point, what you're thinking about is how to move the body relative to the bike. This is a good starting place. However, it will keep you stuck forever if you think like this while you ride. The reason why is because, number one, we have moments of inertia. Your torso is heavy, and it's heavier than your arms, your legs, and the bike. So when you take the heavy thing, which is your torso, when you take the heavy thing, which is that, the body right here, and you put it on the trajectory that you need to go down. So if you're trying to send a huge jump and land down there, what you need to do is over here, you need to initiate that movement and put it on the right trajectory. That means that if the bike goes off to the side, or if your arms or legs are somewhat out of place, it matters a whole lot less because the body position is a body trajectory. So the fundamental number one thing you need to do is you need to move away from moving like a position and start actually moving on the bike. So the thing is, why do riders complain about this? They say, I'm stiff. Well, why are you stiff? Because you're using body positions. Cut it out. What we need to do instead is we need to ride where we move the bike relative to the body, okay? A great drill to do this is, in order to initiate a jump, what if you just got on your bike, rode in a straight line, and did a front wheel lift? This drill helps you isolate moving the bike relative to the body. So what do we want to do when we jump? We need to push, okay? This is why stand up to the jump is a great concept. And in order to do this push using these body movements, the first thing you need to do is you need to free fall the body. I talk about this a lot in my other video where I break it down into 4 steps. I'll link that here. You need to free fall the body. Number 2 is you need to press through the legs, okay? When you press through the legs, you're taking the energy of the body and you're transferring it to the bike. In other words, we initiate the movement with the body first, but we don't do very much movement, and we put a ton of pressure through the shocks, into the tires, into the bike, and we give it the energy that we have stored up through our free fall. What this does is it gives us control. When you have control, then what you've done is you've isolated all the craziness and you've created a place where you can create a trajectory. That means going from here to here on the jump. Pretty cool. Then number 3 is let the bike bounce up to you. Oh my gosh. When you do a front wheel lift and you can get the bike to bounce up to you, it should feel effortless. Remember how we talked about riding stiff is not what we want? We want to get rid of stiffness. And the way you do it is you learn movement on the bike, where you're moving the bike relative to the body. And when this feels effortless, you can take that effortless feeling where you create that and take it out to the jump, okay? Make this shift. Let me know in the comments below, guys. I want to see some big views on this video. We're trying to solve the progression problem that's causing the crash crisis. That's the mission here. I care a whole lot about getting you guys out there. I'm listening to Creed this morning. Take Me Higher, you know? Like, if you haven't listened to the song, you need to get inspired. You need to go listen to Creed right now. I want everyone listening to Creed. Number 2, instead of practice, we need to follow the progression process. Listen carefully. If you're an intermediate mountain biker, in other words, if you're past the what do I do with my brakes, what is shifting phase, and you're out there and you're stuck on a plateau, this one's for you, because when you are stuck, the reason why is because your practice is trash. 99.9% of mountain bikers are self-taught, and even the professional athletes that I work with tell me they're just copying each other. When you practice, if you repeat things that are not going to help you, you bake in bad habits, okay? So this bakes in bad habits. If you've ever felt like when you go to the trail, you're just kind of like holding on for dear life, that is a sign you've baked in some bad habits. The progression process, what's different about this is that it follows 4 steps. I talk about this a lot on the channel. Number 1 is you need activation. When you sit at a desk, it deactivates your core muscles and it locks your hips into position. When you activate these muscles, it teaches your body new neurological patterns. So everyone talks about muscle memory and going out and practicing on the bike. The thing is, your practice on the bike starts in number 3. So this is functional. Okay? There are 7 fundamental movements of mountain biking, of a modern mountain biker. You don't need to get back. You don't need to get low. You don't need to, I don't know, all the old tips from the 1990s, but literally all these old tips of get back, get low, all that stuff, these body position things, they all talk about number 3, but they neglect and completely forget about muscle activation and neurological patterns. And when you take a body that's used to sitting at a desk and you send it 30 miles an hour over a giant jump like this one, you're asking for the trajectory to be straight. You're going straight to how-to hell. You're just watching another how-to video and you try another thing and then you're frustrated and now you're looking at your bike and you're secretly embarrassed because that thing is capable of taking a pro off of a rampage drop and you can't even, like, you can't jump. So it takes all the fun out of it. And that's no good because there's 10 million mountain bikers worldwide. Well, there's 10 million in the United States that I know of that are progressing like this or trying to. And they're stuck on this practice. Practice is trying to get your technical right. Okay, so technical is the actual skills, okay? And a clinic will never really get you there because clinics tell you that they're doing skills, but really they're telling you to do body positions, which is number 3. And again, your body positions, your functional is only as good as your activations and your neurological patterns. Your body borrows how to move from what it knows from 1 and 2. When you do great movements off the bike, it allows you to access those movements better on the bike. Now, the good news for those of you who have had a lot of injuries, plates, fused this and broken that, dude, honestly, at the end of the day, mountain biking is like golf. You can just do it for many years because fundamentally mountain biking is low impact. When you fix this, you only need to do a decent job. You don't need to be a gymnast to shred big jumps and to do drops and cool stuff like that. You need to really pay attention to this. Because if you try to go out there and practice like a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old, as if your body's brand new, then, and you're 30, 40, 50, 60, then this all falls apart. Can you guys see how this is so incredibly important? I get upset. I get mad when people just say, follow better riders. It's okay, you've got this, just keep trying, just practice, just do drills, just watch another YouTube channel. It's easy. Hire a person to give you a lesson. Honestly, the best way to do this is to click the link below. That's Dirtbag Dave right there is showing up. Click the link below and we'll give you a custom workout based on an analysis of your activation and neurological patterns to help you progress fast. When you get this, it will give you the automaticness you're looking for. And a lot of times the technical skills happen automatically when we fix 1, 2, and 3. That's what we do inside of the Athlete Accelerator. Go click the link if that's you. We've got 1 spot left for this week as of the time of this recording. You might have to wait a little bit until next week if you're just seeing this now. Number 3, stand up to the jump specifically. Stand up to the jump, okay? Standing up to the jump, great video, super entertaining, right concept. The reason why stand up to the jump is not working for you is because one, number two is your athleticism is broken, you need to fix that, or you're jumping too far out. When I say you're jumping too far out, what I mean is you're literally doing a combination of number one and two the wrong way, and it feels stiff, and it feels like you're moving, but there's no power and there's no pop to the jump. So I'll break this down as simple as I can. What happens when you jump too far out is we do things like we push here and we just kind of hold our body stiff, or we use our knees to extend rather than rolling through the hips and using the power in our glutes to transfer energy into the bike. Now, the reason why it might feel different on a jump than everywhere else on the trail is because you don't pay the price of messing this up everywhere else. And on a jump, your G-forces can get 2 to 3 Gs. So that means if you weigh 200 pounds, you could weigh 400 or 600 pounds for a moment as you're going up a jump. And again, I know this sounds really simple, but if you want to stand up to the jump, you need to use your hips, okay? So this is a combination of 3 things. So 1, we have a hinge, 2, we have a squat, and 3, we have a lunge. This is our big ass mobility that we need to talk about. A lot of you don't have the mobility in the hips. So again, referring back to number 2, in order to move the hips, and we've locked the hips because you have poor muscle activation and you've sat at a desk for too long. You have to fix it first. You can't fix this on the bike if it's broken off the bike, all right? It's your big ass mobility. Number 2 is the squat. So this is a combination of both, you know, the hip joint and also the knees. And so we need to be able to bend those or extend them. And that part is both of those. And then also the lunge. We have a component where one foot is in front of the other when we stand on a bike with level pedals like this. And so we're combining these 3 fundamental mountain bike moves. And when we're jumping too far out, we're using everything else except the hips. And when we use everything else except the hips, those joints are weaker and they don't allow us to produce enough power to stand up to 400 or 600 pounds of pressure in that one moment. Can you see why this is so, it's a very easy concept to understand. It is very hard to fix on the bike. What we need to do is we need to look at and solve for the problem, okay? If you're stuck in jump jail, the way to get out is you have to solve for the problem, not for practice, all right? If you just throw practice at this, you're not going to address jumping too far out. If you just practice this, you're not going to be able to use the right body movements that'll get you there. And if you just practice at this, you're just going to be baking in bad habits and you're going to ride stiff. So what I would do if I were you is take a look at this. If someone were to work with me and my team at the highest level, so pro athlete wants to win a World Cup or win Rampage and they're like, hey, we need you guys help. What they would do is they would pretty much hire us to come in and live with them for a couple of months, and we would do like all this intensive crazy stuff with them. And it would be like the cost of a Ferrari. You know, we're not doing that. So YouTube, what I want for you guys, I want to take the Ferrari experience and distill it down and say exactly how I would think about this and what I would do about all of this if I were to do it as simply as possible, okay? The number one thing I would do if I were you is daily hip cars. So a hip car is just like this right here. You're gonna move your hip joint throughout its entire range of motion. And what I want you to think about is the ball and socket joint, okay? Most ball and socket joints in modern humans, mostly men, we need to move it independent of the hips. You're gonna see here that the femur is like this and it's got a femoral head. This is the acetabulum. It's the ball and socket joint of the hip. We need to move that femur inside of the hip, and the hip, the pelvis, needs to stay kind of aligned with the torso. If we align the torso and have good core pressure, and we're able to move the ball and socket independently, then what we've done is we've created natural human movement that you can go and access that power and stand up to the jump for number 3. So daily hip cars are just something I would do 5 repetitions on each leg every single day until you get better at this. And also you can do the horse stance hold. A lot of you guys have seen that. And the purpose of this one is just to help practice that core activation while you're moving your hips out of the sitting desk position. And the final thing I would do is, if you're in a place now where you're sick and tired of being stuck on, frankly, any bike skill, and you want to progress past an intermediate plateau and into advanced or expert level riding in weeks, not years, click the link below, apply to work with us now. I've got a couple spots available for you, and you'll be working with me and my team personally. We've coached Olympians. We've worked with over 10,000 riders in individual sessions. And we also have the fastest, most aggressive way to get rid of your problems. Just work with us, it'll be great. Name's Dave Davidson. Have a great one. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.